Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sandra Howard. I'm the music department chair, and I'm pleased to introduce Sarah Ames and her Academic Excellence Conference presentation entitled Music Therapy Enhances the Development of Individuals with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Sarah Ames is a senior majoring in an individualized music therapy degree. This workshop will focus on interventions used by music therapists with individuals with autism spectrum disorder, ASD. Music therapy is an evidence-based profession that uses music to achieve non-musical goals related to cognitive, physical, social, and emotional functioning. Music therapists work with a wide range of individuals from prenatal to hospice care in a variety of settings. Music therapy has been found to be an effective intervention when working with children with ASD to develop these functionalities. For example, one of the key characteristics exhibited by someone with ASD is a lack of or limitations in verbal and nonverbal communication skills. Since music is a social language that everyone innately responds to, music therapists utilize music to positively influence a child's social and communicative development. Neurologically, music is processed in both hemispheres of the brain, making it the perfect tool to enhance the development of individuals with ASD. Thank you, and let's welcome Sarah to the podium.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. Wait, I shared the wrong screen. Hold on. I apologize. There we go. Okay. Is it showing the slide or is it showing the presenter view?
It's showing the slide.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so to begin, I'm going to sing hello. What better way to start than to sing? So, hello, everybody. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hello, everybody. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Today it's time for music. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It's time for music. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Today. So as Dr. Howard beautifully introduced my presentation, we'll be discussing music therapy and the impacts that it has with ASD individuals. So I am a senior music therapy individualized major. I came to Keene knowing that I was going to individualize my major as music therapy and go on to a master degree program for music therapy to become licensed. I'm very interested in autism spectrum disorder and music therapy as it relates to music therapy. Main reason is because my sister, pictured here on the left, is autistic. She is nearly 20 years old, and she's a huge reason why music is a huge part of my life. And as you can see here, she is singing and clapping to, I think it was down by the river, or something like that. So kind of like the overview of what's going to happen today, we're going to discuss a little bit about the definition of music therapy, what autism spectrum disorder is, how the brain, music, ASD, how it all relates. And then the big chunk of the presentation will be music time. And I'm going to give you 4 or 5 interventions that could be used and are used with individuals with ASD. And then there'll be a time for questions. So, what is music therapy? So when I decided that music therapy was my destined career path, which was during my first year of high school, I had been asked so many times, what is music therapy? What does it do? And like, because it's a very new career. And so I had to come up with an elevator speech. I was told that by my teachers and music therapists that I interacted with and research that I saw. You had to know what you were talking about. And so my go-to response for what music therapy is while the goal of music education is they use music-based interventions or music skills to develop further music skills and teach music. Like theory and oral skills and technical aspects of music. However, music therapy uses music interventions to achieve non-musical related goals. These goals are surrounded by areas of cognitive development, social development, emotional development, and physical development. Music therapists work with a wide range of clientele in various settings, as mentioned in the abstract. So, autism spectrum disorder, the individuals with ASD, is just one area that music therapists work in, but there's lots and lots of research with the connection to ASD. Autism spectrum disorder is now in the DSM-5, which was published a few years ago, is now just an umbrella term. Before, autism spectrum disorder was its own thing, and there was also Asperger's and PDD-NOS, but now it's all autism spectrum disorder. And as it says, it's a spectrum condition, which means there are individuals that are nonverbal and highly intelligent. There's individuals that are verbal and have very low intelligence. So there's and everything in between, high functioning, low functioning. It is a developmental disorder, which is often presented in early childhood. And unlike popular belief, which has been debunked several times, just because it is presented in early childhood does not mean that it is caused by vaccines. In fact, the doctor who brought out that study in the 1990s was debunked by that and lost his license because he spewed that false information. Autism spectrum disorder affects a person's social, communication, and behavioral development. And as I said, it's a spectrum condition. So somebody can fall on the lines of low, high, anywhere in between in any of these combinations of development. So how does it all relate? So music is a full brain activity. It connects neurons and functions of the brain from the left and right hemisphere. If you look at brain scans of a person's, while a person is listening to music or actively involved in music, it lights up everywhere. And an unrelated fact, but related to music therapy is really effective for individuals with Alzheimer's because music is held in a specific part of the brain that is not affected by Alzheimer's until very late stages. And so music therapy is very effective throughout all stages of Alzheimer's. Music helps stimulates the cognitive processing of those with ASD, so it helps get them to think and able to connect if they are nonverbal, it's able to connect their speech neurons to the music neurons, so they may be able to sing and say words while they're singing, but they may not be able to speak them. And so using music connects to those neural pathways so that they can maybe do both. So in research, ASD individuals respond to music at a very, very early age. Just like most individuals, music activates responses even in the womb. And so they have increased response, as studies have shown. Music provides the security and safety for individuals with ASD. ASD individuals thrive on routine. My sister, especially during this unstructured time, we have set a complete routine. She gets up in the morning, she showers, she gets changed. She's doing better than I am with routine because she thrives on that. She needs that security and safety. Music has that security and safety innately. It's just part of what music is. Music is, along with security and safety, it's nonverbal and it's non-threatening. It's not scary. It's easy to understand for individuals with ASD. And Individuals with ASD, although they may cognitively function as a 5-year-old like my sister, she is 20 years old and she listens to Demi Lovato and top country artists right now and Carrie Underwood and all these top popular artists. On the other side, she does also watch TV shows like Barney and Clifford the Big Red Dog right now, and she watches shows like Heart of Dixie and Heartland and Grey's Anatomy and all these shows. So there's that wide spectrum. So it's time for music. We already heard one structure of an intervention, which is the hello song. Most music therapy sessions will start with a hello song, and that provides the routine and the security that I mentioned. Another way that music is used for individuals with autism is to provide a routine of a task that is difficult for them. So I'll provide an example of a social song story that relates to going to the grocery store, which may be overwhelming and difficult for somebody with autism. It also is able to help identify emotions for these students. It also helps to kind of regulate and bring them back down, especially if they're having an autistic meltdown. Rhythm to regulate is an intervention that I use with my sister all the time, the rhythmic conversations. She'll even initiate it. We're in a restaurant and she's starting to feel overwhelmed by the noise. She'll simply start kind of tapping a rhythm on the table and I'll immediately respond, and we start bringing her back down and be able to focus on one thing. And then, if we started with a hello song, we're going to end with a goodbye song. Okay. So this first one would target an aspect of the child's life that is difficult, which is a difficult social situation for them, like going to the grocery store. So this song would outline the steps and routine of a trip to the grocery store. The first one is you get in the car and you ride in the car. So a music therapist would work with the team that the child has in their school or their public like therapists and etc., their IEP team. And they would be like, hey, what does this child have difficulty with? What's a social situation that they need help with? The parent, the teacher, their speech therapist, occupational therapist could identify. They hate going to the grocery store. They get really overwhelmed. They have, like, the parent is always struggling with meltdowns at the grocery store. Okay, what can we use music for? How can we create a routine for them that they can check off and sing as they're going to the grocery store? So this is one that I heard at a conference that I went to in November, and I'm going to share it with you now. So it goes, zoom, zoom, riding in a car today. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car today. You'd ask the student, what's next? You're riding in the car, where are you going? Zoom, zoom, going to the store today. Zoom, zoom, going to the store today. Okay. When you get to the store, what do you do? What do you pick up? The cart. You go push, push, push in the cart today. Push, push, push in the cart, pushing the cart today. Okay, we're at the store, we're pushing the cart, we're going around. What do we need to pick up? We need to pick up fruit. Pick, pick, picking the fruit today. Pick, pick, picking the fruit today. We've got our fruit, we've got what we came to the store for. Now what do we need to do? We need to wait in line. So we waiting in the line today. Waiting in the line today. We've waited in the line, we've checked out, we've brought our groceries to the car. Now what are we doing? We're back in the car and we're going home. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car today. Zoom, zoom, riding in the car today. So that is an example of a social song story that you could use. You also notice that I used a lot of images and it was just very simple. That is something that a therapist would print out those images and they would have a visual connection. If a lot of special educators or teachers within the special education realm use a program called Boardmaker, and that is where I got a lot of these images that you will see throughout these interventions. So the next song is called When I Feel Angry. It is by a music therapist that I can't remember the name of. I heard it at a conference that I went to. And it's a song that a music therapist wrote to help with this anger feeling that one their student had. And so it talks about when you're feeling angry, what are you feeling, and what a better choice would be to do, and that is to take a break. So this song goes like, when I feel angry, I make a lot of noise, I swing my arms and hit. Then I go to timeout. Then I go to timeout. A better choice would be to tell my teacher that I need a break. I can say it, I need a break. I can sign it, I need a break. Then I'll get a break. And so this is a song that maybe was written with a client and they talked about what do you feel when you get angry? What do you do? What happens next? And then talking about what the better choice would be when you, and it's, I need a break. And as the song says, they can sign it. So if they're nonverbal, they can sign I need a break, which is I need a break. And then they'll get a break. So the next one, as I mentioned before, is rhythm to regulate, aka my turn, your turn. And this is something that I do with my sister. We call them rhythmic conversations. She'll say to me, I want to do rhythm. And we're sitting at a table in a restaurant. And she's really overwhelmed with all the sounds and the lights and all the people that are there. And she's sitting across from me and she'll just tap on my hand and she'll start tapping a rhythm and I automatically know that she needs to regulate and she needs something to focus on. And so it'll be something, I'm going to ask Lucas to help me out with this one, please. Hi. So it'll be something literally like this. It'll be my turn and I'll clap. Your turn and Lucas will respond. And we'll keep doing that. So I'll go. If there needs to, sometimes with Hannah, I need to verbally say what I'm doing. And so I'll say right, right, left, left. And then it could be Lucas's turn. So it's your turn. Okay. And sometimes we'll be like, okay, let's just jam out and just like get all of the energy out, the excess energy out that we have. And so sometimes we'll just like get that energy out and we'll just like go crazy, whatever it is. And it's able to just kind of let them regulate and actually it's very interesting from my experience with individuals with autism. They're very, very in tune to rhythm. My sister is amazing with rhythm. She'll be like jamming out to a song and she is clapping along to the beat and it's exactly on time and she remembers it. Her memory, like she remembers the song and she remembers what the rhythm is. One story about this rhythm to regulate, when I was doing my internship at Crotchet Mountain School before we had to leave campus and return home, I was introduced to a student, we'll say his name is Ben, and he was in high school, and nonverbal, but we were listening to a song. I think it was Celebration. And he was like dancing around, and he was jumping around, and he was jumping right on the beat, and knew exactly celebrate good times. Come on, he was dancing right along to that. But he was wandering, and he was very chaotic in the way he was doing it. So I went up to him, and he wanted to clap, and he wanted me to clap, and so he held on to my wrists, and he moved my hands, and he was clapping them, and we got him to clap quietly and clap big, and I was able to get him to respond to different directions, and that was developing his communicative functioning. And when I feel angry it helps with behavioral, and riding in the car helps with social. And so music is able to target all those specific needs. And so, of course, looking at the time, okay, so then we can't forget about singing goodbye. Keeping that routine of singing hello as you come into the session and saying goodbye as you leave the session. And so this song, you'll recognize the tune, I hope. And it's a song that Margie LaBelle, who is a music therapist and keeps a blog called musictherapytunes.com, shared on her blog a few years ago. So this song goes, I got a feeling that it's time to sing goodbye now. It's time to sing goodbye now. Say thank you, say goodbye. I got a feeling that it's time to sing goodbye now. Let's wave and say goodbye now. Say thank you, say goodbye now. And that is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Sarah. Can we open the floor to questions? And I think
Yes.
Sarah might help if you take off the screen share so we
Yes.
can see the attendees. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments that you would like me to address?
I had a question.
Yeah.
Well, more of kind of like a clarification actually. So when in sessions, is just establishing routine one of the key aspects of any session?
Yeah, absolutely. I think routine is from the music therapy sessions that I have observed and like watched in different like videos and such, establishing that routine is very important. In a Sing series presentation I gave last year about music therapy, I outlined what a session would actually look like. And so a session would start with the hello song, and different interventions within that session would include something that had to do with instruments, something like whatever main goal that they're working on for that week or that like month. A movement piece, a calm down, usually towards the end of the session we've just been doing like a lot of movement activities, and we just shake your sillies out if they need to like calm down, listening to calm music, doing a mindfulness activity, and then being able to transition into saying goodbye. Oftentimes, especially with individuals with autism, you'll see teachers that have like boards that have laminated Velcro icons, and I have one. My sister has one. I wish I had it for you to show you. But it'll say say hello, and then time for instruments and time to dance, and they're able to move around. So if you're working on changing up routine, maybe you'd have a part being like, okay, how's this session going to go? Where is your choice going to go? Where do you want it to be? And so trying to establish routine, but also allowing for individuals to have that decision making.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Any other questions or comments, clarifications?
I have one, Sarah. Because there are so many music ed students here, I'd like you to just take a moment to talk about the major differences between music therapy
Mhm.
and music ed,
Mhm.
and where are there maybe some similarities?
Yeah. Um, so as like the music educators will know, when like I've been in music ed classes as part of my degree, and it's a lot you use like the national standards or the state standards to work on music skills. So in elementary school, you're working on note identification and being able to relay rhythm. Um, Whereas in elementary school, a music therapist working with clientele um, would be probably working on reading skills. Just being able to like sight words like see and sit and goodbye and those kinds of sight words. So you'd create a song about sight words and what they can create. Or they may have trouble tying their shoes. And so I know therapists that have created songs about tying their shoes. I think similarities between music therapy and music education is music. Like it's the music. You're still using the skills. And as a music therapy major, one thing that when I was coming into Keene, I was like, I knew I wanted to do music therapy, but I know that coming to Keene and doing individualized music therapy degree, I'm not going to be able to be a music therapist right off because it's not an accredited school for music therapy. So I have to go to grad school. But I knew I wanted to get my master's anyways. So I was thinking of like, okay, do I major in psychology and minor in music? Do I major in music, minor in psychology? Like, how do I create this degree? And after talking to music therapists and looking at other curricular, it's a lot of music. It's music based. You have to be a skilled musician to be able to be a music therapist. And so the majority of my degree is music. I've taken all the music theory courses, all the oral skills courses. Um, and you'd have to be able to like in a session, if they said something like they really like the song Attention by Charlie Puth and you don't know it, you don't know the chords, you've heard it before, you have to be able to pick it out by ear and just like play it, come up with the chords by yourself. And so the oral skills and the improvisation that we learn as music education majors applies there. And like I took percussion methods and I was able, like I learned all the different percussion instruments and how to teach them. And that applies to music therapy because you're still using those instruments and there's a lot of overlap. But the main difference is music education. The goal is to teach music skills. Music therapy, you're using your music skills to teach other skills like reading and tying shoes and behavior regulation, etc. So, yeah.
Thank you.
I think Andrew has a question. Could these skills and techniques be used to help people with addictions to drugs and alcohol, or is that a different format of music therapy? Great question. Yes, absolutely can be used with people with addictions to drugs and alcohol. There's music therapists that specialize in that. So my music therapy or the population I want to work with is children with disabilities. But there's music therapists that their population is substance abuse. And they work with teens and adults, usually in group settings for that. And in that setting, they do a lot of lyric analysis and lyric writing and kind of mindfulness activities to kind of reflect on why are they using this? What do they have to do in like incorporating like the 12 steps, etc. And in terms of different format of music therapy, there's different theories of music therapy and there's different branches. So just like with music education, there's ORF, there's Kodai, and there's like different schools of thought in terms of vocal music and instrumental teaching, etc. With music therapy, it's the same thing. We have Nordoff Robbins music therapy. There's the guided imagery technique, which is a lot of like mindfulness and incorporates art therapy as well. There's neurological music therapy. So it's more like brain based, and they do a lot of brain scans and that kind of thing within the music therapy. There's therapists that are specialized to work with specifically with the NICU patients, cancer patients, hospice care music therapists. So there's so many different things, and it can actually like it works with every type of patient. Absolutely. Like I could use music therapy as a form of my therapy because I am in therapy. So Andrew, I was wondering because I'm 5 years sober from parent. Good for you. Music helped me get sober, and I really like your format for teaching the skills. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for listening in. And if you have any questions or want to just like chat about what music therapy is, feel free to email me. It was in my presentation. And I'd love to chat with you more. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah.